and welcome to this Transcribe Right tutorial. I'm the Sonia half of Claire and Sonia, and today I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to set up a simple Q&A template in Word for Mac. To begin, if you could open a new blank document in Word, and we will start by setting up our font. The font that we've been using for the templates that we've set up for these training modules has been Calibri, and we will keep to that format by setting this one up with Calibri as well. So if you can open the drop down menu for fonts and select Calibri, and we will set the font size to 12. The next thing to do is to check and see where our margins are at. So if we go up to Format and select Document, and if the Margins tab isn't open, just click on the little Margins button to reveal the margins that have been set. We're going to go with the presets that Word has set up on this document. So we will set the margins up to 2.54 centimetres. If you're not in a country that does metric measurements, so if you're in the US or elsewhere, you want to set your margins up to 1 inch. 2.54 centimetres converts to 1 inch, so that's a nice easy conversion and has everybody on the same page. If you can set the margins up to 2.54 centimetres and then, or 1 inch if you're in the US, and click OK. The next thing we want to do is we want to put a placeholder for the document title into this template, and the placeholder is basically a little spot that we put onto the template that lets us know that we need to change the information on the template from transcript to transcript. For this Q&A, simple Q&A template, we want to start each transcript with the audio file name as the document name. So if we hit on the centering button, and to mark that it's just a placeholder, we put square brackets around it. So click on bold, and in square brackets we'll put title. And now's as good a time as any to set up our paragraph spacing. So if you go to Format and you go to Paragraphs, and the paragraph menu will open up. What we want to do is we want to set up the spacing that will occur after a paragraph, and we want to change it to 12 point. You would have seen the little screen down here change as I clicked through that, just to show you how that moves. So we'll set that to 12 point, and basically what that does is it saves us from having to put in a return after the paragraph. The document will automatically put that return spacing in, and it just saves you a little bit of time. You don't have to hit the return key twice to get that space between paragraphs. So if we click OK, and now when we hit return in this document, we have that nice spacing in there. I'll just turn that on so you can see the spacing symbols. Next thing we want to do is we want to put in some speaker identification. So if we justify the document again, and that will bring our cursor back over to the left-hand margin. Switch off bold. For this simple Q&A template, the to speaker identification is going to be Q for the first speaker, who's generally the person who's controlling the conversation, asking prompting questions and directing flow. That person will be identified with a Q and a colon. We want to set up a nice indent on the template now, so that the text of what the first speaker says will be indented nicely. So if you go up to the top margin and set a tab at 1.5, and then you want to bring the indent symbol over, you can manually drag it over, or you can click Control T and that will jump over and set for you. So now when I hit tab, it'll stay over there as a nice hanging indent on my paragraph. It'll look nice and tidy in the transcript. Okay, now we've got that set. Let's put in speaker identification for the second speaker. the respondent or the person that's going to be answering the questions that the first speaker asks. And to identify that second speaker, we simply use A and colon, and then put the tab in. So we want to set the template up with all the tabs in place and everything ready to roll. Next thing that we want to have on our template is some page numbers. So if we go up to the Insert tab and click on that, you can also go to grab this setting, you can go through the drop down menu on Insert, but it's set up on my Word document, so I'll just click on the tab here. Then we go over and we're going to insert some page numbers. So here's the page number button. If I click on the little drop down arrow, it's going to let me pick some options, and we just want to select page number. In the little menu that pops up, we want to position the page number at the bottom. As you'll have seen in the answer keys that we provided in Module 1, there is a lot of information that goes into the header of the answer keys, so we want to keep that free because once again there'll be a lot of information in the answer keys for Module 2. So we want to put the page numbering at the bottom of the document, and we want to center the alignment. So we'll click center, and then we will click OK. If we scroll down, we'll see that our page numbering has been inserted, page 1. Okay, and the final thing we need to do is we need to save this new template into the template folder that we created in Module 1. So if we go up to File and select Save As, we want to change the file format to a Word template. And again, we discussed the reasons behind creating template documents and setting them up as templates in Word in Module 1. I'm going to name this new template Q and A template, and I'm saving it into the template folder that we created in Module 1, and it's going to sit in there with the templates that we created in Module 1. So we'll click the Save button. Now I just quickly wanted to show you another shortcut that most transcribers use when they are preparing their transcripts to save a little bit of time. First I'll show you the long way. So we have our template, we've opened it up, we're typing in the audio that we hear, filling the document in. The long way would be to manually keep inserting Q colon tab, return, A colon tab. When you're transcribing 60 minutes of audio, all of those extra little keystrokes, they add up. So a quicker way for you to use this template and other templates like it is when you open up the template you've created, copy the speaker identification that's in there. I'm hitting Control-C to copy that text that I've highlighted, and then paste it in. Paste in a few pages of the Q&A speaker identification text. Then, when you're typing the transcript, instead of having to hit return and type in the A colon indent, just use the arrow key, the down arrow key on your keyboard, and just arrow down to the next speaker. It's a really good shortcut, and over the time it takes to transcribe 60 minutes of audio, it's actually saving you a lot of time. Okay, so and there we go. I've shown you how to set up a simple Q&A template in Word on Mac, and I showed you a little quick cheat tip for saving some time when you get to the stage that you're transcribing the content of an audio file. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.